Hey everyone, it's Brennan. Welcome to my channel and welcome to another video. Today I have my February TBR. This is pretty ambitious. I have 13 books written down on this list, and that's been about what I've been reading every month, but I rarely read every single book on my TBR. I just kind of get a little lost and wayward and read whatever I want. But I've been pretty good in January reading the books that I said I would read, so let's see how I can do in February. I absolutely am 100% going to read A House of Earth and Blood by Sarah J. Maas, the first book in her Crescent City series, because I'm reading this with Sahar for her Fan Row Book Club. It's me and Meredith from Meredith Reads. We are the co-hosts for this, and I will 100% be picking this up. This is the first book in an adult fantasy series with some romance sprinkled in, and I might be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this is the kind of fantasy with like angels and demons, but maybe werewolves. I'm not sure, but it's going to be a great time because it's Sarah J. Maas. And then I have The Devil Wears Black by L.J. Shin. I have never read an L.J. Shin before. I know she, as an author, may not be the nicest person. I don't know. I've just heard that she doesn't give arcs to people who have rated her books lower in the past. I don't know, but she's very well loved and her books always do really well. She's just very popular. And I've never read one, and I've heard good things about this one, and one of my friends, Sarah, got this for me for Christmas to read, so I'm super excited to pick it up. I think it'll be really good to read around Valentine's Day. Also, I love this cover so much. The pitchfork and the cake. I just love when books have food on the covers. It is just like my favorite. And then I want to read Traitor Queen, which is the second book in the Bridge Kingdom series. I think that's what the series is called. The first book is called The Bridge Kingdom. It's by Danielle Jensen, and it's a fantasy romance. We're just going heavy on the fantasy romance in 2022. But I really enjoyed the first book. I gave it 4 stars. It was a great, fantastical, romantic time. The setup of it, at least the first book, is there are different kingdoms, and one of the kingdoms basically exists around this bridge that is really important for trade between the other kingdoms, and as part of some treaty or alliance, one of the kingdoms sends their daughter to be married to the king of the Bridge Kingdom. This daughter like had to compete against her sisters. There's like 20 sisters, and they all went into the desert to train to be assassins basically. They send her to marry this king with the intent of finding out secrets so they can invade this kingdom, and like I don't know if she's supposed to kill the king or not. But anyway, they get married, and she's supposed to want to betray him, but obviously they have an attraction, and it was a really fun time. It's very like seafaring. They like have to get on boats to travel between parts of this kingdom a lot, and there's a lot of sharks, and there are jungles and stuff. It's a really unique fantasy. And then I really want to continue with the A Court of Thorns and Roses series, also by Sarah J. Maas. It's just going to be a Sarah J. Maas month. Also, low-key, I want to read Kingdom of Ash, but it's probably not going to happen this month. But I can definitely pick up the audio of this. I would have read Kingdom of Ash if I could get the audio for it, but my library doesn't have it, and I'm just not going to try to find it anywhere else because I have it on my shelf right here. But I can definitely get the audio for A Court of Wings and Ruin, which is the third book in her Agatar series. You know what this is. It's fantasy romance. It's very fae heavy, and how the second book, A Court of Mist and Fury, left off, I am just angry. I'm angry, especially at Tamlin, and I just want to know what happens next. And then I also want to read The Lovely War by Julie Berry. I've had this on my shelf for a really long time. I actually just talked about this in an unhaul, but you'll see this video first. You'll see the unhaul next week, and there's a giveaway in it, so be sure not to miss that. But this is a mix between Greek mythology and historical World War II fiction. I've only listened to the first like part of it, and it's basically Aphrodite, Ares, and Hephaestus having a moment, and then Aphrodite is like telling a story about a love story, and I think it happened in World War I. In the perilous days of World Wars I and II, the gods held the fates and the hearts of 4 mortals in their hands. So this is going to have different timelines, and it's basically told in a story that Aphrodite is telling. And then I have this checked out from the library. This is 14 Ways to Die by Vincent Ralph. And I put a hold on this. The hold was pretty long, so it must be a pretty good book. But Haley from Haley Hughes is her channel, and she reads lots of thrillers. But this is a young adult thriller, which I don't read a lot of, but she read this recently and said it was so good. I don't really know what it's about, but I'm really excited to pick it up. And then also from the library, this is so random. I have this book called Migrations. It's by Charlotte McConney checked out. I have the audio for it checked out. One of my new coworkers, I just started a new job, and one of my new coworkers was talking about books, and I was like, amazing. And she said she had just read this and it was really good. I'm pretty sure it's nonfiction, and it's literally talking about birds migrating, but she said it was really good. And I checked out the audio from the library, and I'm just really excited to dive into it. And then I also want to read The Charm Offensive by Allison Cochran. So many of my friends here in the BookTube universe put this on their favorite books of last year, so I'm really excited to pick this up. This is a male-male romance, but it's set around a show that's like The Bachelor, and I know this guy has to go on The Bachelor to try to like improve his media persona. I think everyone thinks he's like a bad person to work with, and he works for this like tech company, and basically they're making him go on The Bachelor to make himself seem more likable for some reason. And then I think his love interest is like one of the producers, so it's like kind of forbidden with that. And I know this goes into a lot with like anxiety and obsessive compulsive disorder and maybe panic attacks and stuff like that. So like darker topics with a lighter subject like The Bachelor, and like I said, I've heard nothing but really amazing things about it. And then these next two I unhauled from my shelf, but I still wanted to read them. Does that make sense? I just don't want them on here anymore, but I also don't want to miss out on reading them. And I'm reading the audio books because that's just how I can read books faster. One is The Midnight Library by Matt Haig. I know this setup is like we have a woman who has died, and then she's in like this library type setting, and maybe she can like see what her life would have been like if she made different choices. I think that's how it is, and I think there's some like suicide topics in here. I've heard medium type things about it, so that's why I don't really need it on my shelf anymore, but I still want to read it because it's so popular. And then I don't know why I have this book, but it's Oryx and Crake by Margaret Atwood. I read The Handmaid's Tale by her, Margaret Atwood. Super popular, and I enjoyed it, and then I wanted to read more, and I was hearing people on Reddit a long time ago recommend Oryx and Crake. I don't even know why. I don't know what this is about, but I have the audio. I have a hold on the audio at the library, so I'm gonna learn what it's about. And then I have been on such a Liane Moriarty kick. Her Australian suburban thrillers are just for me right now, and I really want to read Big Little Lies, which I'm pretty sure is one of her most popular books. I think there is a TV series about it. I've heard it's so good, and I have read Nine Perfect Strangers, The Husband's Secret, and Apples Never Fall by her recently, and enjoyed all of them. Apples Never Fall was like okay, but the other two I really liked, and the audiobooks are so good. They're so Australian, and they are just a joy to listen to. So I definitely want to pick up one of her books this month, probably Big Little Lies. But I was also looking at What Alice Forgot also, so like let me know what you like from Liane Moriarty. And then the last book I have on this list is a historical, because I'm trying to read a historical, at least one historical every month this year. I want to read How to Catch a Wicked Viscount by Amy Rose Bennett. I recently pre-ordered one of her books, and this is in the Audible Plus catalog, so you can just like listen to it if you have an Audible membership. But I downloaded this, and I'm super excited to pick it up. I don't know what it's about. It's a historical. I'm hoping that I like it a lot. And let me know if you've read anything from this author, or if you've read this book. You know, let me know. Actually, let me know if you've read any of these books. Let me know what you thought about them. I have some like pretty popular books on this list that I'm wanting to pick up, so let me know your thoughts. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you in my next one.